All right, welcome to this Core Animator Developer demo. Um, in this demo, we're going to show you how we created this app. In very few lines of code, we just created this little experience that's fairly compelling. Here's a little fairy guy. You can pick him up, fly him around, and drop him down. You can see his breathing, his wings are moving. If you wait a little minute, he'll tap his foot. Anyway, a pretty fun little app, and really did it with very few lines of code. We started with this Core Animator project called Guardian. He's the Garden Guardian. He's from a book we're working on. And the way he's set up, it's actually set up into three separate animations, of course. There's an ambient animation that includes the breathing, the foot tapping, the wing movement. There's a flight animation where he lifts up off the ground. And then there's a landing animation where he kind of comes back to ground. Now, I hope you've watched anyway, in the intro video we went over exporting. We've already done that, so we're just going to jump over to the Xcode project and take a look at where we're at. So here's our actual project, and we're just going to jump right in by putting a view onto our canvas and setting its custom class to Guardian View. He's kind of stretched out because we've used because we need to change to aspect fit is really what's going to work best for this project. All right, so that's enough to get him on the screen. Let's just verify that. Let's run it. All right, there he is. Obviously not moving yet, but there he is. Just a note on positioning. In this particular project, we're not going to use auto layout. The core animated views work well with auto layout, but in this particular case, since we're going to let the user drag him around, the constraints that it would create would just get in the way. So we're not going to use that. Obviously, to be able to work with our animated view, we need an outlet, so we'll do that. Switch back to one editor. All right, here we are at the view controller now. Of course, we're going to start we can just start by adding his ambient animation. Let's just check that out. So there he is breathing, and perfect. Now, so for our purposes, we're gonna let the user pan across the screen. Now, as soon as they start a pan, we're gonna stop the ambient animation, and we're gonna add the flight animation, and that's just gonna run. Let the user pan around. As soon as they stop, we're gonna remove the flight animation and add the landing animation. After the landing animation is completed, we're going to reintroduce the ambient animation. So that's kind of the overall flow of what we're going to do here. So to do that, we need a gesture recognizer. We'll call the action handle pan. And we will create that method. All right, so again, when they start the pan, we want to lift off, we want to start the flight animation. So let's work on that one first. We just switch on the state of the pan gesture recognizer. We can do began. So in the began case, we take the Guardian, we can remove the ambient animation, and in its place add the flight animation. Well, not really in its place, but we add the flight animation. let's just keep going. So when it ends, when the pan ends, we're going to remove the flight animation and add the landing animation. And let's just take it to that point and make sure it's working. So now when we pan, he should lift up off the ground, and then when we stop panning, he drops. Great. Two things we're missing. One, he's not following our cursor or our finger, and two, after he lands, he no longer is breathing. Like the ambient animation is not there anymore. So let's deal with that one first. And it's fairly simple to do. What we're going to do is we're going to use the add landing animation that takes method called takes a completion handler. It supplies a Boolean telling you whether or not the animation ran to completion. What we're going to do is we're just going to say, hey, if it did finish, we're going to add the ambient animation. Since we're inside this, we need the self dot. Okay, so let's just run that, make sure that's working. Comes up, comes down, continues breathing. Perfect. So now all we really need to do is get him to follow our finger. And that, of course, we're just going to do in the changed event. Let's see. So we're just going to get the translation of the pan gesture recognizer, and we're going to use it. We're going to use the translation of it to update the center point of the guardian. CQ point make, and we're going to use, of course, its previous center .x and add the translation, and get its previous center .y and add the translation. And then that's it. We just need to reset the translation. Just set the translation back to 0 of that gesture recognizer. And we run it. And there we have it. So we've got our guarding guardian that you can pick up, let him fly around, and let him land. So you can see that really in very, very little code, we're able to, with the help of, these wonderful animations that our designers created, we're able to really bring this character to life just extremely easily in code. Anyway, that's the demo. Thanks for watching.